6 years. Harper hijacked my body for 6 years. My eyes snapped open. Mine again. I thought the nightmare ended. I thought I could just hit rewind. Maddox scoffed. The sound grated against my eardrums. Amnesia? That your new angle? My vision blurred, then locked onto his face. I lunged. My fingers clamped around his throat. Where's Harrison? A scream tore from my chest. Where is he? How the hell did I end up married to you? I had a baby on the way. 6 years ago, Harrison and I planned to walk down the aisle. Chapter 1. Maddox froze. The muscles in his jaw ticked. His eyes darkened with cold mockery. You finally dropping the act, Maeve? Begging for my attention while panting over another man. He let out a harsh breath. Pathetic. He had every right to say that. For 6 long years, Harper had piloted my body, throwing herself at him like a desperate groupie. The climax of her obsession? She had stripped down to barely their lace, wrapping herself up like a cheap gift in his living room, waiting for him to unlock the door. Popping out with a sickeningly sweet surprise, only to find herself staring down a dozen of Maddox's co-workers in the foyer. Who is that? Trashy. Heard she just had a kid out of wedlock. Didn't even wait a month before throwing herself at the boss. The disgusted whispers echoed around the room. Zero shame. Absolutely shameless. All the color drained from Harper's face. She stared at Maddox, paralyzed. She had specifically texted him to come home alone. Tears welled in my stolen eyes. Why? She choked out, looking utterly broken. Maddox just stared at her standing there in nothing but silk and humiliation. Not a single muscle in his face moved. I warned you to stop playing these games, Maeve. This time, I'm the one walking away. Maeve, was supposed to be the untouchable first love in this twisted romance novel. And Maddox? He was the male lead. I had stumbled across him in a cold alley, his knuckles busted and his face a bloody mess. Instead of flinching at his dirt-stained clothes or the dark purple modeling his skin, I just reached out my hand. Hey, are you okay? He looked up. The golden hour sun caught in my hair. And just like that, he anchored his entire existence to me. A silent, agonizing obsession that lasted over a decade. Too broken to approach, too dark to stand in the light. He stayed in the shadows, watching me fall for someone else. Watching me slip a ring onto another man's finger. The next time we actually spoke, we were sitting across a boardroom table. I had beamed at him. Maddox, is that really you? His chest heaved. His knuckles turned white as he gripped the edge of the table, fighting to keep his mask from slipping. Yeah, a single, raspy syllable. His eyes devoured my smile, starved and desperate. Then, I slid the wedding invitation and a small box of candy across the mahogany wood. Perfect timing. I'm getting married. We'd love to have you there. I smiled warmly. I remember you having a massive sweet tooth. A lie. I had no idea what he liked. I just remembered the day Harrison won the state championship. I had passed out candy to the whole class to celebrate. Maddox had clutched that cheap piece of candy in his palm like it was a lifeline. I hadn't noticed how all the blood rushed from his face when I handed him the invitation. I didn't know he hated sweets. But because my hand offered it, he took it, treasured it. Only for the final piece of candy to be a celebration of me marrying another man. He stopped breathing. The silence stretched until it snapped. Okay. That night, the ruthless CEO went back to his empty, sprawling mansion. He unwrapped that wedding candy, swallowed it down. Then he slipped beneath the freezing water of his bathtub and let it fill his lungs, leaving behind a single note. Maeve, if there is a next life, I pray I never meet you. A brutal, devastating end to a decade of unrequited love. Chapter 2. That ending shattered book talk. My poor boy, she didn't even deserve him. So what if he was a little toxic? He just didn't know how to use his words. He protected her from the shadows for years. The author did him so dirty, making the FMC such a manipulative red flag. Maddox loved her for a decade, and she just strung him along with another guy. I don't care. You can't kill him off. Bring him back. The absolute uproar from the readers literally triggered a glitch in this world, summoning Harper. Her twisted ultimate fantasy was to play the savior, to be the only woman who could fix the dark, misunderstood billionaire. And her chosen meat suit for the sick game? My body. After the hijacking, I slammed against the walls of a pitch-black void. My throat tore from phantom screams. My chest caved in, suffocating on the sheer panic of losing my own limbs. Harper just brushed off my agony. I seriously don't get you. Her voice echoed, dripping with disdain. Maddox is literally perfect. Why are you throwing a tantrum? If you hadn't gaslit him, jumping into bed with another guy before Maddox could figure out how to love you, he wouldn't have drowned himself. Now I have to bust my ass fixing your mess. Her contempt branded me a cheater, a slut. The gaslighting dug so deep I almost choked on the guilt. Almost believed I was the villain. But my memories clawed back. No matter how hard I scraped through my brain, Maddox was just some guy from high school, a ghost in the background. Our one and only interaction? I stood by the gates, waiting for Harrison to pick me up. I saw some kids shoving Maddox around. I stepped up. I told them to back off. That was it. One moment of basic human decency. At least not now. Please, not now. I'm pregnant. I shrieked into the darkness, my phantom nails digging into my palms until they bled. I'm about to get married. It didn't matter. Just 24 hours earlier, Harrison and I had finished painting the nursery. He had scooped me up, burying his face in my neck. You're finally marrying me, Maeve. I laughed, smacking his chest. Idiot. Who else would I marry? You're stuck with me. The very next day, under the blinding flash of 100 cameras, Harper commandeered my body. She wore the white silk gown Harrison and I spent months searching for, and she ran. Playing the brave, defiant heroine, she hitched up my skirts, bolted to his secluded estate, and hauled a drowning Maddox out of his bathtub. She crushed him against her chest. Don't be scared. I'm here to save you. Heartbreakingly cinematic. If it hadn't been my stolen body, and if Maddox hadn't retained the memories of his past life, the man coughing up bathwater didn't look at her with pathetic, trembling gratitude. attitude. The insecure, desperate boy was dead. Maddox stared at Harper with obsidian, lifeless eyes. Dangling hope in front of me just to watch me starve, he rasped, his voice vibrating with absolute malice. Stringing me along while you play house with another man. Is this your new game, Maeve? He had rewound the clock. And in this second life, he suffered the ultimate revelation. He thought he finally saw my true colors. If you despise me, why pull me out? He lunged, his knuckles turning white as he gripped the soaking wet lace of my wedding dress. Why save me? Just to slit my throat the second I become obsessed with you. He sneered at the bridal gown. What's the goal here?